if one calls oneself a Christian and one is aware that there are huge numbers of people who call themselves Christians, but they differ from each other in their viewpoints, and we are one of those groups who call ourselves Christians, and we differ from the born-again Christians who differ from us and amongst each other, and there are also Catholics who, shame to say, differ amongst themselves on, say, the fundamentals which are contained in the Catechism of the Catholic Church. The Catechism of 1994, and going back to the Catechism of the Council of Trent, and other smaller catechisms since then. Shall I finish, or shall you want to? Go on, you can intrigue me.
No, we're talking about the differences.
Yes.
We were talking about the high priest.
Yes.
The high priest, when he entered the temple, he had a rope.
Yeah, in case he died.
In case he died.
Drag him out, right?
Because he had to be pure.
Yeah.
To enter the temple, right? To enter the Holy of Holies.
Okay.
So if he was not pure, just to be in contact with the Holy of Holies, he would die. So imagine how pure Mary had to be to bear Jesus in the womb for 9 months.
That is a different subject, isn't it? For what I'm talking about.
No, but yeah, about it came to my mind when you talk about with Protestants.
All right.
That's a good topic.
Okay. So we have different Christian groups, or groups that call themselves Christians. How are we to work out which is the true one? I mean, we Catholics have groups separate from us who are similar to us, it would seem, in many ways. The Russian Orthodox, the Greek Orthodox, the Coptic Church, the Armenian Orthodox, the Albanian Orthodox, on and on it goes. Then there are those who call themselves Christians who are very different from us, the Jehovah's Witnesses, and the more far out groups like the Mormons. So what are we to do? Not what we're to do, because we're Catholics, we already believe what we believe. For outsiders, what are they to do? Well, I would suggest the best thing they can do is to go back to the early Christian writers. Of course, one says there's a Bible, read the Bible, but the problem is that having the Bible, all these groups that I've mentioned, including our own, have come to very great differences in opinions as to what those biblical texts mean. So we need to have another layer to help us. And the next most important layer is what are called the Fathers of the Church, those early Christian writers, especially those of the 2nd, 3rd, 4th centuries AD. My position would be that if you examine those men and their writings, you will find that they teach Catholicism. Now, you won't find every single Catholic teaching in their writings, because it's now 2024, and of course different questions have arisen since the time of the Fathers. What is the time of the Fathers anyway? One can say it goes up to the Second Council of Nicaea, which took place in 787 AD. But one could not be as broad as that and say the first 500 years or so of Christianity, because you've got them people who were reasonably close to the time of the apostles. Well, take a father like Ignatius of Antioch, who lived at the time of St. John the Apostle and who wrote 7 letters while he was on his way to martyrdom in 107 AD. Antioch being the second most important city of the Roman Empire at the time, and the very first place where Peter was bishop before he moved on to Rome. St. Ignatius said in his letters to the Smyrnaeans, the Christians of Smyrna, that we eat the flesh of Christ, and that those who are heretics, who've separated themselves from this. And he speaks in his letters to the Romans, he says that Rome holds the presidency. He says that of no other church to which he writes. Rome is not this time.
In different topic.
Rome has not only the presidency, but from Rome no error has come, says Ignatius. So there's a special place for Rome, an affirmation that when we go to our Sunday religious service, whatever you call it, you must receive the literal body of Christ. So that cuts out immediately, in Ignatius's mind, a lot of those groups that call themselves Christians. And he calls the church the Catholic Church. First time we have that phrase. But it's not as if it's the first time it really occurs, because when Ignatius writes, he's writing to those who are familiar with this term. So it already become the name of the true Church of Christ. So those who refuse to call themselves Catholic Church are outside of what Ignatius would call the group called Christians. So that's one father.